So I've got a ton of questions here today for the 1000 subscriber Q&A about everything from my channel to the GAN 14. I sure hope you can see the questions. It'd be rather awkward if you couldn't. At the Cubing Froggy asks, why did you choose Superflip as your name? And to be quite honest, that answer is gone along with the me from 4 years ago. However, what I can say is that I wanted something unique as a name, and the Superflip pattern is objectively the most special state on the Rubik's Cube. On the cubing side, if you look at the arrow diagram of the final state, it is perfectly symmetrical across all three axes. That is to say, no matter which side or orientation you execute a Superflip algorithm on, it will always be the same result, this. Mathematically, it is also one of the states that is furthest away from solved, requiring 20 moves in HTM or half-turn metric. Because of all of that, I chose the Superflip as the name for something kind of special and unique. I hope that answer is somewhat satisfactory. At Niv Cubing asks when I started cubing and what I average on 3x3. I learned how to solve a cube around 7 years ago, actually with this very specific cube that I just dug out of a box. And I started speed cubing 3 years ago. I now average mid-11s. My official WCA A05 is 11.08 with an official PR single of 7.66. Following that up with @MarGM8530, who asks, what made me start cubing? My parents taught me at the very start, and I'll be quite frankly honest, I was absolutely trash at it. However, during the pandemic, I was at home with nothing to do, so I started the speed cubing grind, and here we are now. Next, @ClammyK asks me what my favorite cube is. And I'll be frankly honest, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't like the RS3M 2020. Not only is it so cheap, I really do enjoy the feel that this cube has. Surprisingly, I feel like this RS3M is just so much more controllable than the Maglev Warm 2021 while still being pretty fast. I also do remember a period where I really adored the GAN 11 as a main, and I still love the soft feeling of this cube. However, when it comes down to my main today, it is the GAN 13 Maglev. It feels so snappy, clean, and just fast. When I'm ready to do a solve, I don't have to fight the cube, it just comes naturally. So to answer your question, my favorite cube is probably the GAN 13, but don't let that make you think that expensive GANs are the only good cubes on the market. To answer this related question by Sniper Z343, of course the best cube under $20 is the RS3M 2020, no doubt. I will be honest, you do need a little bit of setup with lube and a little bit of tensioning to make it a really good cube, but at the cheap price and your budget of $20, the RS3M will even leave you with around $10 left for a bottle of Lunar or Martian to set it up. As for the shoutout, if you're here, go subscribe to @SniperZ343's channel. Next up, @Puma09HCR23 asks why I wanted to make a new timer app. If you don't know, they're referring to the website Chronix, currently in alpha. This is a timer that I planned, designed, and created a little while ago from scratch. I wanted to take cube timing a step forward by making the line between timing and analyzing solutions and times clear. If you're timing, you focus on a solve you are doing right now. If you're looking at statistics, you shouldn't get distracted by wanting to go do another solve. By separating these two things, you can excel instead of fail at both. It still isn't the best timer yet, but I'm slowly building it with a great deal of attention to a clean, easily usable user interface. Now let's get into what you're all probably here for, the GAN 14. I know that has been a while since you guys asked these questions, but I had to wait so that I had completely accurate information before sharing it officially in a video. I have gotten a lot of questions regarding whether there will be black internals on the GAN 14. I have seen footage of the GAN 14 from GAN with black internals, and I thought that it was finally going to be the year that darker internals come back. So many people wanted them from the 11, but unfortunately we do not have them just yet. Perhaps they will come back later, but from what I see right now, I really doubt it. I also got a question regarding different versions of the GAN 14, and as of right now, I don't see any coming either. Strangely enough, we have seen GAN tease about various versions for the cubes of the GAN 11, 12, and 13, but we have not seen or heard of any so far for the 14. There is a possibility that there will be some versions coming in the future, however. Take this with a grain of salt, but seeing as to how there are limited upgrades and people may be reluctant about the high price, I can see some form of a cheaper variant coming. Finally, we also have a bunch of comments asking regarding changes. And yes, the only genuinely large change that has happened on the 14 is the adjustable edge to core magnets. Some small changes include an additional 6 settings for the corners that I personally probably will never use anyway, and a new box that was just basically redesigned purely because of the additional corner to core rods. I'm also seeing some minor piece design changes that hopefully should help with catching and popping a little bit. Or not. Finally, we have some questions regarding whether or not the 14 is worth it and whether or not you should upgrade from the 13. And honestly, in my opinion, the answer is no. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a GAN hater in any way, shape, or form. I have their $50 2x2 flagship, many of their insanely priced 3x3 flagships, and quite literally their most expensive cube, which also happens to be the most expensive cube in the world, and many others. In short, I've spent hundreds of dollars on this company, and I'm not even saying that the GAN 14 is a bad cube. In fact, it's probably the best 3x3 that exists to this day. However, I'm simply saying that the price is a little bit too much to justify the small changes. If you have an old cube, maybe you can check the 14 out, but at this rate, you should just get the 13, which is getting a price cut because of the 14. If you already have a 13, there's quite literally no good reason whatsoever to upgrade right now. The fact that I have no good reason to endorse the 14 really makes me sad, because I would love to tell y'all to buy the GAN 14, but I honestly just can't. This is just not the year. If you do have the 14 and like it more than the 13 for whatever reason, and would like to prove me wrong, I'm completely open for it. Please let me know in the comment section and I may make a follow-up to this Q&A. But with that, that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.